Okay, so for these next couple lessons, we're going to be working more with exponential functions, which we know, of course, are of the form f of x equals a times, let's still use b to the x power, right? Okay, this isn't anything new. But the last couple lessons that we've spent looking at this, we've pretty much been focusing on positive values of x, right? Positive inputs. So I want to spend some time going over working with exponents more in depth because this lesson, or rather this next couple of lessons, where we're going to be spending a lot of time graphing exponential functions and working with them more in depth, we need to be able to interpret things like, for example, negative values of x, inputting negative values of x, and what taking negative powers of our ratio looks like. Okay, so let's just start off quickly. Okay, let's say we have some ratio, not ratio, but let's say we have some base 2, which is going to be a ratio if we plug it in as a ratio to an exponential function. But okay, let's say we have a base 2, right? We want to remember what something like 2 to the negative 1 means. Okay, what this means is that you flip your base into the denominator of a fraction, right? And you make that exponent positive. So 2 to the negative 1 is just 1 over 2 to the first power, which is 1 over 2, right? 2 to the negative 2, that's just 1 over 2 to the second power. That's 1 over 4, for example. 2 to the negative 3, right? That's just 1 over 2 to the third power, 1 over 8, right? Pretty simple. Let me get rid of this. Let's just do some more examples. We did go over this a bit at the beginning of this course, but I think most people could probably use a refresher, right? That's to be understood. Let's just take another common base. Let's say 4 to the negative 1. We should know that's 1 over 4 to the first power. That's just 1 over 4, right? 4 to the negative 2, what's that going to be? That's going to be 1 over 4 to the second power, 1 over 16, right? Finally, something like 4 to the negative 3. It's just going to be 1 over 4 to the third power, 1 over 64, right? All right, so that's pretty easy when you just have a whole number base raised to negative power is pretty easy to deal with. Okay, but what if we have something like, let me get rid of this guy here. What if we have a thing like a fraction, right? What if we had like 1/2? First of all, let's do something like 1/2 to a positive power, just so we remember how this works, right? Because a lot of the time, our ratio is going to be a fraction. A lot of the time, right? We've seen already several examples where that's been the case. Okay, so how do you deal with a fraction raised to a power? Very simply. You simply raise the numerator to that power, and you raise the denominator to that power, right? This is a fraction raised to a positive power. Fraction raised to a positive power, nothing too complicated about that. If we had something like, I don't know, 2 over 3 raised to, let's say, the third power, that's not hard to deal with. Raise the numerator to that power, raise the denominator to that power, get, in this case, 8 over 27, right? Nothing at all to be worried about, right? Nothing to be worried about. Okay, we should know how to do that. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 more examples just to drive the point home, right? Because we definitely want to be comfortable with these kinds of operations. Very much we want to be comfortable with these kinds of operations. What if we had something like, I don't know, 4 over 5 to what? To the second power? Okay, that's not too bad. It's 4 to the second power divided by 5 to the second power. What's that? 16 over 25, right? Okay, we know how to take integers to negative powers now. We know how to take fractions to positive powers. All right, what about putting those two concepts together? And what about taking fractions to negative powers? What about taking 2 over 3 to, let's start simply, to the negative first power, right? Okay, well, what you do is you flip the fraction and raise the top and bottom to that power. So this becomes 3 over 2, both numerator and denominator raised to the first power. We get just 3 over 2, right? All right, let's do a couple more examples. What if we had something like 1/5? Okay, raised to the negative first power. Well, that just becomes 5/1 raised to the first power, right? Raise the numerator and the denominator to that power. That's just 5/1, which is just 5, right? All right. I know I'm going pretty quickly, but this is just a review. I don't want to spend too much time delving into this. Certainly, if you're having trouble understanding, we can work on it. Okay. I just want this to be a quick refresher, so that we're not deficient in certain skills that we're going to need for these next couple lessons. Okay. What about something like, I don't know, 4/3 to the negative second power, right? Well, what are we going to do? We're going to flip the fraction upside down and raise the new numerator and the new denominator both to that power. It's going to become 9/16. All right, see that? A couple more examples. What if we had something like 7/2, the negative 2 power? What are we going to do? Flip that fraction upside down, raise the new numerator and the new denominator to the power. In this case, get 4/49, right? All right, what about something like 1/10 to, I don't know, the negative third power, right? What are we going to do? Flip that fraction upside down, raise the numerator and the denominator to the third power. We're going to get what? We're going to get 1,000/1. Of course, what's that equal to? It's equal to 1,000, right? Okay, so that's really all we need to be able to do for this unit when it comes to working with exponents. Okay, I know I went through this video pretty quickly. I just wanted it to be a refresher. If you're pretty comfortable with these operations, well, there you go, you're refreshed, right? If you're not too comfortable with these operations, of course, this is a video. You can go back, rewatch it, pause at each example, spend some time really making sure you understand what I did and that you understand how to do such things yourself. And of course, you can always contact me if you think you need more practice or if you didn't quite grasp what I'm getting at or if this was a bit confusing, okay? Like I said, there's a refresher, and this is something we're going to need to know for what we're going to be doing over the next several lessons.